Well, sort of strange game to finish the end of the season. Paul, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I guess one for the neutral. Plenty of goals. Pleased with ours, of course, and not pleased with theirs. But we played relatively well first half when we passed the ball quickly. Scored a very good third goal. And the fourth was okay from my point of view, but certainly, defensively, and as a team, that's not just defenders, goalkeepers. We were like too easy to get at. The players talking about it being a bit of a basketball game, which you never wanted to do. There's an element of being understandable with the changes made and then the subs, but at the same time, you're always going to be disappointed.
Saying that there are maybe a couple of players first half, maybe you had scratching your head thinking, are they doing enough to get in my thoughts for the playoffs? But did that become easier for you in the second to a certain extent?
It's not easy for some, as in it's is it 9 changes I made? So from that point of view, it's never going to be as cohesive as you would like. But I thought, like I said, we played well enough realistically, and we're relatively comfortable. But then, as it went on, like I said, the changes maybe didn't help. Change formation at the end, and that middle of the pitch looked more open. But yeah, I certainly take some learnings from it, some good and some not so good. But now all focus is obviously on going to Notts County a week tomorrow, I believe.
Jamie Bramwell came in at the back. He looked fairly steady for you.
Well, again, this is where it's a little bit sort of awkward. We got Ollie Batters being goal and Jamie Bramwell, and I thought both did kind of okay. But then you have to look at it and say we've conceded 4 goals. 100% not just their fault. We're a part of certainly a back line, and again, while it's not simply them, they have to play the part in that. So I thought there were bits that certainly they did well. Jamie on the ball, he's comfortable as a centre back. Second half, certainly we seem to get deeper and deeper, and they went one flick-ons and then one brought the next ball down. That can't be right. But not going to be too harsh on them. It's nice to give him an opportunity. But obviously there's a long way to go for some of those boys.
Why did you decide to make that many changes today? Just because of resting your players?
Yeah, risk of injury. Why take a risk was my thoughts. Jordan played because I think he needs the minutes in his legs. And Sean played. I think we need another centre half, and again I think he's better because he hasn't been playing as much before that. So those two stayed in the team. Other than that, that's what it was about.
So what happens now? Where does it all go from here now? When you get the players back in?
We'll have a couple of days rest or recovery or just time away. We're told to kind of not forget that our season isn't over, far from it, but at the same time certainly not be thinking about the game. It's a long way away. And it's no point getting worked up about it on the coach home and tomorrow worrying about it. Let staff consider things for that in terms of his training schedule, our preparation team, what we think Notts County could bring, their sort of strengths and weaknesses, I guess. And then it'll be a relatively normal week leading, albeit on different days, if that makes sense.
Do you already have in your mind a team selection that you're planning on, although it's not set in stone?
I think an high percentage of it, certainly. But we'll look at, again, what opposition, probably look back a little bit over the 2 games that we've had against them, that I think have seen quite a bit of changes and a bit of a change in tactics from them against us at home. And then sort of 20 minutes or so where they were well on top in their home game. Then I thought we were strong for a lot of the remainder of that game and obviously won that. So we've both had a winner piece. We've both had some really good spells in the game. And as you'd expect, it's good opposition. Really tough. Certainly one of the positives is travel-wise, it's not. It's one of the closer games, and there'll be a fantastic atmosphere. So we look forward to it. We know it's going to be tough, but I expect that Notts County will be saying exactly the same.
Home is supposed to be an advantage, and I suppose you'd rather be at home than travel, but it can put pressure on as well, can't it?
You would think so. It's a pressure game for both teams. We don't. Obviously, both are going to hope that there's at least another game after that, and ideally two. And you've got to, be able to deal with that. Like you said, sometimes a home crowd, it's a big crowd, and if it's not going your way, it can get a little bit edgy. That can transmit onto the players, but I'm not sure how it'll work. Whether we'll get as many tickets again for the fans, but however many tickets we get, we know that we're sold out, and we could probably sell out the stadium for his own fans. So we'll have his own following that getting behind the players, and we, like I said, we'll look forward to it.
2,000, I think.
Okay, well, we know, as I said, genuinely we would take probably double that, maybe more, if they were on offer. So I'm sure there'll be a scramble for those tickets, but that gives us certainly a good following, and we enjoyed that. That was certainly, I think, one of the fans' favourite days of the season when we won at Notts County, albeit this time an evening game. But as I said, it should be a cracking atmosphere.
Now you've reached the playoffs, is there anything else a bonus?
As I said before, we're in them now, so I want to win them. Whatever happens, I think it's been a good season. I think we discussed the challenges that you have of getting into the playoffs as a relegated team and doing well, and while there's been a couple that have managed it, I think we've come quite a long way in the time since I've been back at the club, albeit we've had to take a real disappointment by dropping out of the EFL. We want to try and give ourselves a chance of getting back in. We've done that, and we would love to do that, but it's very much one at a time, and it's Notts County, which is a tough enough challenge in itself without worrying about what could be after that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.